What's up, guys? Welcome back, and if you are new here, welcome, baby. My name is Diana Naomi, and today we're going to be talking about like some of my birthday reflections and just deep life realizations I've come to now. And just because I'm saying them don't mean I'm not learning them. Some realizations you can come to, but it doesn't mean like automatically your life is fitting to what you've learned. Sometimes it's just some shit you now need to apply, and it's easier said than done, but it's always about trying your best. So we're gonna get into that. I always wanted like a family name or whatever, because the family is growing. So let's have a little moment of celebration. Shout out to my 80 subscribers. 80? It's 80 of y'all? It's 80 of y'all? Shout out to you. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to each and every single one of you. I'm so grateful. Me starting this YouTube channel was a testament to me doing something I've always wanted to do, and just being less fearful about being perceived. Because in the end of the day, the only perception that matters the most is me and my past self. Am I improving? Okay. Is my future self gonna be proud? Okay. Not worrying about what people looking at and doing. So we need to think of a family name. Any ideas that you think I should call you guys? Please let me know. Comment them down below. And also, to no pressure. Growing up, after a certain point, my birthday started not to go so well. And you know, like, you have certain traumatic experiences on your birthday, like as a child, a teenager, and then coming up. It does affect the way you look at it, and it affects the way you feel celebrated. I usually do get like birthday depression. I get sadder on my birthday, and I'm still like uncovering answers as to why, because I definitely am doing the shadow work, digging deeply within your past, within yourself, and what makes you you. Why do you behave the ways that you do, and how can you use that to your favor, and how can you change things? My older sister Johanna, she was in my birthday vlog, but she tried to really make my birthday special, and I really do appreciate that. But I feel like regardless of the intention someone else does, if you feel sad, you feel sad. If you feel depressed, bitch, it don't matter if someone threw you a surprise party all the way in Bali. You gonna be there throwing and turning up, but you gonna still be sad. And I think what's most important, finding the balance within yourself to understand how you feel, but not like push the things that you'd actually want away because you're hurt. And you know, I realized that this birthday, I saw the people that I love show up for me when I started to feel that sadness like breaking in. And I don't even know if sadness is the emotion in and of itself. I feel like there's a lot, but I think sadness is kind of what encompasses majority of it. I'm very critical of myself, and I've been trying to work past that. Because also too, I be seeing you be your biggest eye. Like, you just said, I wanted to do this, did all of this, and then you reach the following point or the next year and you're kind of like, where am I at in my life? How you gonna ignore all the 20, 30 things you did? Even if you did one or two things, some shit that you never thought you'd do, and then you completely ignore it because of comparison or because of just self-critique that isn't even healthy for you. And I've realized that because sometimes I think about like, oh, where was I at last year versus now? And I do see significant improvement, but sometimes I hold myself to such a high standard that standard is no longer realistic. Especially when I feel like I'm failing because I haven't met it. If you ever feel that way, like, don't ever think you're alone. Don't ever think you're overthinking. I really do hope and pray that you find people within your life that can read your feelings and not personalize that, you know, and try to really get you out of the funk, but just be there for you if they can. It's not someone else's job to do that, but also too, that's the point in community. There will be times when we're going through things, but the people we love show up when we need it. When we're both happy and sad. This is your life. No one else has your life. No one else came from your struggle. No one else has your story. And like, I grew up with a lot of siblings, and even within that, you realize that people can come from the same experience and still be significantly different. I could see where I can improve, but also I'm grateful for where I'm at. Not as shaking. So I made a little list because I know how my brain works. It's gonna jump from topic to topic, tangent to tangent, baby. The ADHD gon' bounce, 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 roll, roll, roll. Like, take everything people say with a grain of salt. Like, this works for me, Diana Naomi. This doesn't necessarily have to work for you. Apply what works for you and let the other shit fly. You feel me? So let's get into it. I don't want to match energy. This would be the type where it's like, you go low, I'm going to hell. I'm going to the depths of sea. You ain't seen the sea, girl, I saw it. I constantly felt like I had to defend my honor. When in reality, it's beyond your honor, it's your ego, it's your pride. You don't have to match people's energy to communicate your needs and communicate your standards, boundaries, and anything else that you want. Sometimes I'll hit below the belt, knowing that one has nothing to do with the conversation. I just knew that it would hurt your feelings because I felt like that's what you were trying to do. You're so sure of yourself, you really do know when people are coming from a place of self-hate or are unsure of them. Even if something annoys you, knowing that that feeling isn't a feeling that's going to last, that you need to go to war for. Again, all of this shit is easier said than done, and it's about practice. And I've just been practicing. Not matching energy to me is choosing your battles wisely. Because is it worth it? And me going out of my way to prove to someone who I am and like, oh, you like, who do you think you're talking to? Who do you blah, 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 blah. Once I start matching, they want to nitpick at you and see what could get you there. And it's like, even if some shit gets you there, play it off like it don't. And deal with it in private. Talk to the people you trust the most. You know, and it's not to invalidate you either. There's healthy ways to set clear and strong boundaries with how you say things. Some people might speak more passionately than others. Some people's octaves are just way different. So read the room, because you know when you're yelling. You know when you're calm. And even within anger, sadness, happiness, all these emotions, you could still articulate yourself at a calm. But just learn how to talk to yourself. Number 2, look through the lens of other people to understand yourself. Like, don't do things thinking like, what are they gonna think? Or like, even if you're inspired by people, right? Let's say you're gonna be in a room with people you really fuck with and are inspired by, and now it's time to show them your work. You don't need to change who you are to do that. If you on a simple tip and the people around you are kind of like more extra and they do different things like that, but you like simplicity, you still bring what you got because that's you. You don't need to jazz shit up. That's who you are. And if you like to, that's different because that's an emotion that changed within you and that's what you want. But seeing yourself in the lens of others don't even make sense when they too busy worried about themselves and how they view them. What does she think? What does he think? What do they think? What do you think? Have you ever took the time to ask yourself that? Number 3, stop waiting for the perfect moment. You feel like you need the perfect form of stability and like everything that you've obtained in life to finally then and there go after your goals. And that is not life. And I feel like that's internalized capitalism. That's internalized white supremacy. So too, just your trauma. What materialistic things do I need to obtain to carry out my vision when I got the vision now? Ain't no way the universe downloaded that shit in my head to make me wait on it now. If something comes into your mind and now you have a sudden interest to go follow this, do your research. Learn about it. Take your time. Only you know the pace you're supposed to be going. And there's no rush. People's success seems immediate, but you also don't know their story. And that's a blessing to them. You know, but comparison is the biggest thief of joy. And we all know that. Any creative endeavors that you like to carry out, make sure that you do now. Because we need you. The same way that you're so inspired by others of like what they do and how they fully immerse themselves into the things that they love, is the same thing we're waiting on you to do. Truly pay attention to how people and environments make you feel, and if they bring out the healing in you or simply just chaos. Are you feeling extremely drained every time you leave out here? Are you feeling like it's always dramaed out when I'm around this person? I feel like I give more than I get. You've reached those points. It's not to be toxic and just cut. Because it ain't no cut that bitch off. As a Taurus, we know that. Because it really don't be nothing to cut nobody off. But that also is like a skill of discernment. If I'm just cutting everybody off and trying to be on my lonely, I'm a human being. I'm a social creature. I'm not about to keep building these walls up to be untrusting of the world. That isn't a life that I want to live. But I also want to trust myself enough to have discernment. This person, I always feel drained around them. And like, I've had discussions with them in the past and things are not improving. So I have to leave this place. Work, friends, relationships, family, and just any type of relationship that you have with anything. So the next one is practicing restraint even when entitled. I think this one kind of ties into matching energy. Let's say someone disrespected the out of you. This is a perfect time to practice restraint. Like, there will be moments where I ask the universe, oh, I want to practice emotional regulation. Oh, I want to practice and work on my patience. And the universe gonna squabble, oh, you want to practice, nigga? And it's gonna start hitting with issues. That's what it's gonna start swinging with. You said you wanted to work, right? You said, cue Rihanna work. What is this? What is how wanna work? Not too much on me. List out where it says God's strongest soldiers and take me out. Cause I'm tired of the pain. The scenarios I catch myself now and I'm like, you didn't say anything, girl. I'm so proud of you. Cause then they be like, oh, this scary weak bitch. Whole time, bitch, you don't know who I am. You don't know who I am. You don't know where I've come from. I could've swung on your ass, could've pulled out the... So just practice restraint. If you don't need to say it, if it's not worth it, it's not worth it. Stop adjusting to situations and let them adjust to you. Sometimes being prepared, because you do need to have background knowledge in it. But I feel like once you're placed in an opportunity, that's an automatic thing. I'm gonna do my research here so I'm prepared when I go there, but I don't need to be performative. I'm the main character in my story, and as you are to your own. Don't feel like you need to be some palatable version of anything to be in a situation, to be in a circumstance. Come as you are. And if you feel like you can't do that, that place is not for you. Ain't no door shut, because ain't nothing was behind that door. Don't be palatable for people. Be you. Especially when you know you're actively working on yourself and you're not just one of those people saying like, well, I am who I am, and you're a shitty ass person. And the universe is kind of like, oh, she ain't gonna switch up for nobody, so she gonna come into that room and everything is gonna work out for her. And my last one, this one really hits for me. Consistency and discipline is one of the highest forms of self-love. Because it means that like, I could, like, regardless of what anybody else consistently can do for me, I show up for myself. When I say I want to do something, I do it. You have to have grace with yourself. You have to be willing to adjust with yourself as the days goes, as the seasons goes, with your highs and with your lows. I'm gonna show up for myself because when I am consistent, I see how I elevate. When I have discipline, I see how I elevate. I don't see it as like me being excluded from worldly things. I see me elevating up a vibration, up a dimension that you can't comprehend and understand. That you see it as missing out, I see it as going up. And that's what matters, how I see it. And sometimes it's difficult, but how do you show up for yourself when things get difficult? When you have negative thoughts. And that's when they both come in. I'm consistently talking to myself better. I'm consistently able to practice filtering my thoughts, not attaching myself, not judging my thoughts. You got some fucked up thoughts, let that shit flow. It's not attached to me. That's just some shit you thought of, okay. I don't believe that these people are better than us. I don't think anyone is better than anyone else. Sometimes people are placed into this world to show you what you don't want to be. Not everyone is here to evolve, and that's okay. But I'm still going to be consistent regardless of the things in my life because I want to see a change. And that I don't want to hit lows and not know what to do. And that will always come from the discipline and consistency of how you take care of yourself, how you see yourself, who you surround yourself with, and what you pour into you. I hope that some of these things resonated with you. There were a few other things that I've thought of that I would like to share, and I might share them later, but I really do hope this connected to you. So my birthday was May 20th. I'm a big Taurus at the cusp of Gemini. It's Gemini season right now, so happy birthday to all the Geminis and all the birthdays coming up for the rest of the year, regardless of when you find this video. I want to emphasize, I'm getting a little emotional because I'm talking to myself, but I want to tell you that like you're perfect the way you are. If you have goals that you like to reach, what can you do now to do them? And are you always doing your best? How can you do better to do your best? And what are the things you can change in your habits now that'll make it better for you? Please be consistent with yourself. Please have the discipline. Don't be around people who don't have that or who don't push you to be better. But I love you. Happy birthday to all, and we healing over here.